years next year. That's quite an age.
It is.
Nice.
For those of you that's wondering, what are you talking about? We're talking about Rocky because he has a birthday next month.
Yeah, he's going to be 91.
91 years old.
And he still barks like a 2-year-old.
Yes, he's still full of beans, but his dash sounds are so lively. So good evening, folks. Here we are again, doing the usual stuff. And tonight we have got a big announcement. Which you'll find out in a bit. First thing we've got to do is make sure I'm not echoing.
Echo.
No, there's no echo.
I'm not hearing anything.
No, that's good. Obviously.
Good evening, Mick.
Good evening, Mick. We got a couple of Wallies of the week as well this week. Because, well, one of them, we're going to shame them now. As you know, I was at Gary's funeral on Monday, and I just put, as you know, I put all that other stuff that in memory. And on the Pet Banatar, someone, right, put a thumbs down on that video, on a tribute video. How rude.
If it's who we suspect.
I reckon it was our mystery troller.
This is YouTube don't allow us to see who does put a thumbs down. I'd like to see who does it so we can say to them, why? What's wrong with it?
Yeah. Especially on, I mean, if you go and watch what I put, I had to respond. I normally don't, but I was quite livid. Anyway, busy week as usual. 2,298 views in the last 7 days. Thank you very much for watching. 13 new subscribers. So if you're watching this for the first time, even if you're watching it live or later, welcome. So what have you been watching? Well, number 3 last week was Alan Joyce's birthday top 10.
It was a good top 10.
Very good top 10, 77. And the one I'm chuffed about, Gary's request for Shawaddy Waddy reached number 2. So there you go, Gary. People are still wanting Shawaddy Waddy. Even when I asked, why did you ask me? And he says, well, I like to challenge you. 87 people. And at number 1, that little one I sneaked in last weekend, the Yes Tier ranking, which someone didn't like because I can't pronounce words, which is another story. 136. The 28 days. Yeah, sorry.
You've always had a problem with saying Tales of Topographic Oceans. You've always had that
it's
problem.
Even worse when you can't get your mush bread. Anyway, yes. 28 days, 10,228 views, which is pretty cool. 47 new subscribers in the last 28 days. So we keep it. It's about the average. We pick up about 50 a month, which is pretty good. But what have you been watching? Still at number 3, The Who's albums ranked 158. 1970s number 2s with Richard 179. And still 5 priceless vinyls with Naomi 240.
That was
interesting. For the shorts, most watched short in the last 7 days is Tubular Bells.
And why not?
And the top short in the last 28 days is Equinox Infinity, Jean-Michel Jarre. I know. It's interesting what people watch on the shorts. But the big figures...
I would have gone for I've forgotten the name. Yeah, Oxygen Trilogy.
Yeah. The channel has now had 188,487 views. That's a lot of people, isn't it?
It is a lot of views.
And we've now got 1,031. said it wrong earlier and nearly give Dave a heart attack. Not a good thinking. Good evening, Richard.
Evening, Richard.
Most watched short is Oxygen at 2,064. But there's no change in the top three. Jethro Tull, Derek Riggs, status quo. Last week's Battle of the Bands was a win for Fanny at 19 and Bertha 5. Today's is the first of the requests. And we've had Cyndi Lauper and Blue Angel up against Cher. And it's all square at the moment.
I'm just going to go and check something in the community. Yes, it is. It's 3 apiece in the community still.
So get voting, or if you want to listen to them, go and have a listen to them because they are available to listen to. Anyway, how are we doing with the laundry list and the work in progress? We've been listening to lots of Tokyo Blade this week. Been really jumping around to that. Well, trying to jump around. 7 of the 13. Sonic Youth, I still can't really get into them. 6 of 15. Delane, 5 of 7. Amber, how do you pronounce that? Amberian Dawn?
Amberian Dawn.
Yes, 5 of 9. The Groundhogs, I've done 8 of the 13. Flaming Lips, I've listened to 3. A new one's gone into the mix. Clutch, and boy are they good. Completed, we've got FM UK, Misha Calvin, who's worked with Tony Martin of all people, and the Tony Banks soundtracks.
Oh, we're nearly done with Tony.
I know. While I go and sort out his nibs, I'll leave Dave to do hatches and matches and dispatches.
Okay, I'll go and feed him something. Good evening, folks. First of all, let's see if I can bring this up properly. Good evening, Ralph. Good evening, Richard. Good evening, Radio Gnome. And good evening, David. Oh, reading about music R&R and Northampton's music. Oh, the Roadbender. Oh, good. Right. Hatches, matches, and dispatches. We've got 9 deaths to record or report today, but we've got 15 birthdays. So those who have left us, 29th of June, we lost a gentleman by the name of Monte Cazaza. He was a controversial American artist and composer, and he coined the term industrial music and was part of Industrial Record Label. We also, on the same day, we also lost Javier Martinez, a Spanish singer known for La Pandilla. The 30th of June, we lost Rick Froberg, an American musician, the bands Drive Like Jehu, Hot Snakes, and Obits. And we lost Lord Creator at 87, the Trinidadian-born Jamaican singer-songwriter who wrote Kingston Town, which was taken into the charts by UB40. 3rd of July, we lost Mo Foster, an English multi-instrumentalist, bands Affinity, Fancy, and RMS, and he was also a record producer. 4th of July, we lost a lady, Vicki Anderson. She was an American soul singer. And yesterday, we had 3 deaths reported. Coco Lee, who was a Hong Kong-born American singer-songwriter. She won I Am the Singer competition in Hong Kong and then moved to the States. We lost Martin Stevens, a Canadian pop singer. He was nominated for a Juno Award for Love is in the Air. And George Tickner, 76-year-old American rock guitarist who played with Journey and Frumious Bandersnatch. So those are.
I want to say that after a few beers.
I know. I had to make sure my teeth were in right. Birthdays this week, going from youngest to oldest. Today, 36 years old, happy birthday to Kate Nash, an English singer-songwriter and actress. 39 years old is Lauren Harris, a British rock singer. You know her as the daughter of Steve Harris, the bassist for Iron Maiden.
Yes, I've seen her band.
Yeah. 44 years today, Nick Sester, an Australian musician with a band called Jet. Now, you'll recognise this name at the age of 48 today is 50 Cent, the American rapper and businessman. 51 years young today is Isabelle Boulay, a French-Canadian singer. She's better known for a song, Parle-moi. 53 years old today is Inspector Deck, born Jason Hunter. He's an American rapper and producer with the Wu-Tang Clan and Czarface. Also 53 today is Martin Smith, an English singer with a band called Delirious, with a question mark, who were formerly known as the Cutting Edge Band. They were a contemporary Christian rock band. 54 years old is Michael Grant, British reggae rock keyboardist and singer with Musical Youth, better known for Pass the Dutchie.
Dutchie on the left-hand side. Yes. Come back with me apple pie.
64 years young today is John Keeble, drummer with Spandau Ballet.
Someone else I saw in the racehorse. You remember I couldn't think of the pub it was? It was the racehorse.
That's right. If you have a look in the comments, you will see that somebody has mentioned that they've been reading a book.
Yes, I did see that.
Yes. Right. 67 years young today is a gentleman by the name of John Jorgensen, an American singer with the Desert Rose Band. However, John Jorgensen has recorded or toured with, and this is a hell of a list, Elton John, Tommy Emmanuel, The Byrds, Bob Dylan, Bob Seger, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Emmylou Harris, Hank Williams Jr., Barbara Streisand, Luciano Pavarotti, Roy Orbison, Patti Loveless, Michael Nesmith, John Prine, and Bonnie Raitt. And touring with Elton John, he was offered an 18-month contract to go on a world tour. He ended up touring for 6 years with Elton. Let's see. 70 years young today. You should know this name. Nancy Griffith, an American singer, best known for From a Distance. And she was a songwriter. She wrote Once in a Very Blue Moon and Love at the Five and Dime. 71 today is Jesse Harms, musician and songwriter with the Wabaritas. Yes. 74 years is Michael Shreve, a drummer, percussionist, and composer with Santana. This one, it took you a while to recognize, Rick Elswit at 78, an American rocker with Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. And the grandma of them all today, at 83 years young, is Jeannie Seeley, an American country music singer best known for a song, Don't Touch Me. So that's the hatches, matches, and dispatches. Now, before you jump on, I counted up something earlier today, and I was a little bit, we've done what? Looked at the schedule from tomorrow until the end of August, 1st of September. We have 84 shows scheduled, and there is a possibility of another 3, 4, or 5 being added to the list. You can't really say we're not doing well. 84 for the next sort of month and a half.
God, scary.
It is the amount. People don't realise how much we actually do. Now, good evening, Matt, and good evening, Wolfie Baby, and good evening, Mike.
Good evening, everyone. I can't see anybody because I've got another screen up.
No, you haven't, because I can't see it. I can't bring it up.
Oh dear. Have we had a technical hitch? Let's get out of...
Yes, you need to add it. Or put it on present on.
What? A silly Billy.
because we can see you.
Oh dear, there we go. Should we do that?
Ah, there we go. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and away you go.
Okay, well, what we got for you next week? Well, we've just got lots, but we're going to start off on Saturday with the 1990s number twos with my good friend, Mr. Richard McCook. Going to throw that one at you. That was a lot of fun. I've enjoyed doing that one. There was more in that one than I thought. Sunday, I'm going to do Sweet Fanny Adams.
You're
watch
still
the
on
Grand
Saturday.
Prix. I should watch the Grand Prix. But on Monday, we're going to look at the solo career of Godley and Creme after they left NCC and watch some great albums from these two geniuses of people. Classic album next week is one from the 2000s, a band called Arcade Fire and their album Funeral, which is pretty good. Tuesday, we start a new story and we're going to do Tony Martin for the next few weeks. Now, I know we've done Black Sabbath, but we're going to have a closer look at the albums that Tony Martin did with Black Sabbath that always get overshadowed by Ronnie James Dio and, of course, Ozzy. So we'll be looking at them. And then on Retro Ranking, I'm going to be slating off Muse again. The top 10 bad Muse songs. Oh,
we're doing 10, not 20.
No, I'll cut it down. I want to live.
Okay.
Wednesday's Marathon is a great classic Southern rock band, probably my favourite Southern rock band, Lynyrd Skynyrd, and I had to put a picture up of that classic lineup. Absolutely devastated by that terrible crash. Thursday, we've got another viewer's pick. This is a good one. It's an unplugged live battle between Nirvana and R.E.M.
Yeah, we already think we know who's going to win.
Yes. Pick a mix next week. We're going to have one walk down memory lane, and we're going to be looking at the UK top singles for the 13th of July 1992. Busy day on Friday. Going to be ranking the Europe Live albums. And for those of you who saw the very final countdown, they've done more than that. They are brilliant live. I've seen them a couple of times. Couple of new albums. We've got Call of the Void, Nita Strauss, and those, I'm sure everyone knows what Nita Strauss does when she's not making her own records. She's playing guitar in Alice Cooper's band. And an album that, thanks to Richard McCook's unveiling, I'm going to be doing the new album, King of the Land, Yusuf Cat Stevens, and it's an absolute dynamite album.
I think, I'm not certain, but I think he played one or two songs from that at Glastonbury. I'm not 100% certain.
I think he did.
Yeah.
So that's coming up.
Right. Now, do you want to do, should we do the wheel first?
Yeah. The wheel is, of course, for those of you who don't know, the wheel is actually where we pick and mix years. And if the 90s come out this time, we're going to spin it again because we don't want to do the 90s again.
Yes. Okay. So, okay. Hopefully you can now see the wheel.
The Wheel of Fortune.
Yay.
Let's get me pen ready.
So
this is for the 10th of August. UK top 10 for the 10th of August. So spin away, maestro.
And just to make sure, I'm going to shuffle the slices and away we go. Spin. Oh, I turned the audio on. Why didn't that? Oh, well. I'm going to spin that again. There we go.
Here comes the party bit.
Oh,
1960. That'll be a pretty cool one.
Mm-hmm.
So the second spin is for the 24th of August for the USA. No,
no.
we have to have move on. Do it again. We're not having that.
Spin again. I'm going to have to lower the volume on that somehow. All right. It's a bit closer, 1984.
1984. So that's that sorted out for that.
All right.
Hardest working guys on the tube. Hey, we are the hardest working guys on the tube.
Right, I can close that. I've got that, and let's have a quick look at that.
Right, shall we, before we get people up?
Hello. It's 6-4 in the poll to Blue Angel at the moment.
Oh, so.
I need to. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot to mention last week's quiz. Oh, deep joy. We had a bit of a giggle about this one. 51 of you answered. 10 of you got it right. Now, somebody may argue about Meatloaf. The album track was the longest, but the single that was released into the charts was not. Oasis was the longest at over 9.5 minutes. 10 of you got it right. 41 of you, I'm sorry, no. Today, I've been rather specific. I've given you a hint. It's not necessarily consecutive weeks at number one. It's total weeks at number one by one song. That's why there's a hint. All right. And then we have one other thing. Are we going to do the announcing?
Yeah, we'll do it. I've put the thing up. So if you want to come up anyway, but we got an announcement. And I'm going to let Dave do this because I've got to do something.
Right. Okay. This is going to be, well, Iain and I were having a chat earlier, and we can only do so many debut battles. We've had the standard.
Sorry, me and Richard have just been stupid now.
Yeah. Evening, Richard.
Are you ready for Saturday?
Yes, I am. I've got it. Sorry, carry on, Dave.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Yeah, we can only do so many debut battles where it's actual debuts, and getting the right genre and year at the same time, it's getting a bit repetitive in the same time. Thank you for those who gave us viewers' choice of debuts. We've got, I think it's Power Battle is next month.
Yeah, we've got a Power Metal Battle.
Yeah, Power Metal Battle debut.
And there goes Richard's eyes.
So we thought, what can we do to sort of change things up a little bit? So we've come up with an idea that we're going to call R.T.O's Battle Royale. Oh, there we go. I hope you can all see that, R.T.O's Battle Royale. The battle of all battles to find the greatest album of all time, the GOAT. What we would like, Iain is going to do a little video. I'm not sure when he's going to put it up, but it'll be basically, this is what we'd like you to do. We would like each of you to nominate one album. It could be your favorite album. It could be your most hated album. It could be whatever album you decide. You pick one album and it'll go into a hat. Basically, it'll go on a wheel. And Iain and I will do a short live stream, and we'll do a draw. And we'll draw all the nominations. Iain will do a debut style ranking, and the winner, after the votes are in, the winner will progress to the next round, and the rounds will continue until we get one album declared the greatest album of all time. Now, hopefully, if we get enough entries, this could run for 10, 12, 14, 16 weeks. We don't know. It'll just run and run and run until we get one album. If there's an uneven number of albums, Iain and I will throw in a wild card just to even the numbers up. Or if it's sort of after the first round, the highest scoring loser will get a second chance and be put into the next round, just to keep the numbers even so we can progress down. So hopefully, like I say, Ian's going to do a little video, put something up, and we would like you to put your nominations under the comments under the video. You don't need to do it in live stream tonight. Please put them in comments under the video, and that way we're not going to get flooded with ideas or nominations. And you've got, we reckon, 8 to 10 weeks to think about it, because we're not going to be doing the draw until mid-September. You've got loads of time, and the first battle will be 5th, if I remember correctly, it's the 5th of October.
5th of October, yes.
Yeah. So that's the idea. Hope
And
you on board and have a bit of fun.
The persons whose album wins will get a prize.
A can of beer, can of Coke.
You will get a special T-shirt that I'm going to design, especially for you. So it'll be a personalised T-shirt for the winner.
Next, that's coming up. That's on the schedule.
That's going to be worth it. What do you think of that, Richard? Is that worth entering to get your own personalised T-shirt?
Oh yes, of course.
Fibber.
Yeah, it's sort of my sort of to celebrate getting to 1,000 subs, but I didn't want to do something that everybody does. I thought I'd just do something different.
I know I'm going to nominate Lou Reed's Metal Machine Music, so I definitely don't win. I'm only kidding.
So get your thinking caps on, got folk, and we'll have a grand bottle.
So it's a little bit like a World Cup, like a knockout.
Yeah, just knock out each album as a week. I know that 1 or 2 people have tried it and it's worked, and I'm going to have a bash at it. So I'm looking forward to that. So it'll keep me busy, not having to worry about debuts and that. So, but the one that Nick's put up, I think we'll do that one without a doubt.
But that's on the wheel for September.
That is on the wheel for September. So there you go. The one we're going to do it.
We're going to draw it next month.
Yeah.
For the September schedule.
Nick says, "Thank God it's a T-shirt. I thought he was going to offer him a couple of season ticket."
No, but I'd trade that. No, I wouldn't actually. No, I was thinking you might like to put up a season ticket for Franklin's Gardens. Then I'm thinking, no, you don't want that. That's a sly dig on behalf of Ulster Rugby.
Yes. Well, I've got some Wallies of the week this week.
Ooh, yeah, I like me.
Yeah. Well, the first one, as you all know, I went to Gary's funeral. I put up, and someone disliked the Pat Benatar video that I put up in memory of my mate. Yeah. So I got a little bit stinky about that. Told them, "How dare you?" And someone put, "I didn't do it. That's fine."
To which we said, "Thank you for clarifying."
Yes. And the other person is the person that had a dig at me big time. The comments are not there now because I can't pronounce words properly.
Mm-hmm.
And because of I said to them, "Look, guys, this guy," I went, "Sorry, I've had Bale's palsy and I can't get me mouth out." He was put a very rude comment. So that's why there's that little response video up there today. So if you're watching this, if you're watching this because I've taken your thing down, think, use this before you open that. Good idea.
I just say that one of the other final community members from the UK, Steve Whitty, who's a really nice fella, he's now suffering from Bell's palsy as well. And he put a video up today, but he didn't mention it. He mentioned it in the previous video, and his face is really fallen on one side. So
what I'll do, I'll go and find him, and I'll give him a message of support, because it's a dreadful thing to get.
He's from Birmingham, or around that area in Birmingham.
Okay, well,
he's got a Brummie accent anyway.
A Brummie accent with a droop. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I will go and send him some support, because I mean, you know what it did to me last year. It was.
Oh yeah.
Thing. Yeah, Steve's a good bloke. So we'll send. So guys, go and find Steve. Send him your best wishes, because I mean, I know you all did for me last year, which really cheered me up. Yeah. Anyway, Richard, are you working tonight, or you're a man of leisure tonight?
I'm a man of leisure again tonight and next Thursday. That's 5 Thursdays in a row. And the reason being is that our company, I work in a bakery. Well, there's no cake production for 5 weeks.
Does it begin with IRW?
No, it doesn't. It begins with GEN.
Oh, as in first book of.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Right. The cake production's down on Thursday for the whole of July, so I've decided to take a few Thursdays off because it's boring unless there's cake production, and I need to use up holidays. So I thought, what better way so I can join Iain's live stream for a couple of weeks.
I feel honoured, Richard, that you. Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. It's great to see you on here. I mean, people, they do miss you when you're not here. You're a bit of a legend on the channel now, you see.
Well, I make sure I watch it the next night to make sure nobody says anything bad about me. So
there's no snide comments hidden in the background.
I make sure.
Oh dear, let's get this thing up and see if we can get some of the usual.
So where is our contracted legend in his own lifetime?
He'll be up here soon, I'm sure. I know he's about, because I did go and do a plug on Rachel this afternoon. He was up there for a while. And he was praising me for my King Gizzard videos, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So if you haven't watched them, worth a watch.
I don't know them, so
they're Australian man.
I did watch it again, so I watched it again.
Yeah, that was just up there for Gary, and it was a really good funeral. I mean, one of his wreaths was brilliant. I mean, Gary was a big Quo fan, and his brother had done him a 12 gold bars, got the cover and the black thing. The black.
Hiya. Evening, Mike.
Good evening, Mike. Thank you for your comments on King Gizzard.
Yeah, it was really helpful, Iain. I mean, they release so many albums, don't they, that it's difficult to find your way through. So I'm glad someone else listened to them all, so I don't have to.
Well, I'm your man for that.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
Yeah, 1 minute you're listening to psychedelic rock. Next thing you get jazz, and then you get heavy metal. But then on the 1 and 2 albums, you get all genres thrown in together.
That's right. I mean, I've only got a couple of their albums. One of them is Microtonal Flying Banana, which I think is really great. And you put it at number 24, so I think it's going to cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, as we keep saying, it's personal preference.
Yeah.
We all hear things differently.
Yeah. I trust Iain. I trust Iain's judgment.
Well, that someone does.
Yeah, I'm just saying that to be nice.
You're mad fool. You're mad fool.
It's like I get when people put, when Van der Graaf, seriously? Yes, seriously.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's brilliant.
Question marks. I can see people when they're watching my videos going, pulling their hair out.
Yes, and then they go and create an account just to say you got that name wrong.
Yeah.
And then you never hear from them again.
Yeah, this person that had a dig at me created his account just to have a dig at me.
Oh.
I feel honoured that he does that.
Here he is. Yep.
All the way from Kettering, if I can.
There we go. I'll put him in.
Corby.
Good evening,
Yes.
sir.
Good evening.
Yo.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Nick.
Can you hear me, Mother?
Yeah. Mother, can you hear me?
No?
Turn
that
down
loud?
nice again.
Yeah. How's Corby today?
Rough as always.
Well, that's nothing unusual.
No. I'm glad Richard's here.
Oh, God. I'm going to be tested. I know I'm going to be tested.
No. There's no Bowie or T-Rex records. I picked that up from a car boot sale last weekend.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. All join hands.
Is it
the B-side.
Is it a Christmas single?
It's a Christmassy song. Now, I think the B-side of that is Here's to the New Year. I'm not sure. Is it?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I think it is as well.
Honestly, Nick, the reason I'm saying play it, it's a new song, but it's basically a new song to the Stranglers' Golden Brown tune. It's got a Stranglers feel to it.
I've played it and listened to it, and it sounds sort of Christmassy.
Yeah, but the B-side sounds like the Stranglers' Golden Brown.
I'll have to play the B-side. The B-side is Here's to
The New Year, yeah.
Yeah, that does it. You could actually, if you put it on, put it up loud enough, you can sing the lyrics to Golden Brown to that easy.
Oh, well, that's simple enough. The other one I got a Slade album as well. The Banging Man.
All right, that's got a brilliant B-side called She Did It To Me, which is like a piano ballad, but it's a better song than The Banging Man. Trust me, it's brilliant.
Oh,
Released in 1974.
74, yeah. I don't really try a lot of the B-sides unless it's Northern Soul or something like that, because a lot of the Northern Soul B-sides are just as good as the A-side. Yeah, the album I got.
All right, that's the Amazing Kamikaze Syndrome from 1983.
Yeah.
That's two big hits on it, My Oh My and Run Runaway.
Yeah.
Is that the one, Richard, that's had a different title in America?
Yeah, in America it's called Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply. That's slightly different track listing, slightly different, two different songs.
Yeah.
Was that the record store?
Yes, it was, Mike.
Yeah,
that's correct. Actually picked that up for Record Store Day. In fact, the Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply is a better album. It's a better track listing to the one that Nick's got, the British one.
Yeah, I think it's a better mix as well.
I think so as well. Sounds better. So it does.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I've not had a chance to play much music for the past week or so because I'm just starting back at work. I'm getting home and I'm absolutely knackered and tired and can't be bothered. But
I'm sure you're delighted to be back at work.
Oh yeah. Especially the money. But yeah, this one can't say I'd ever heard of it before, although I know a couple of the tunes on it.
Yeah.
So any chance to pick up a Slade record, whether it be a single or an album, I'm on it.
Definitely.
Slade albums in the 80s are actually very good. So they are. And one of them is probably their most rocking album. And it's called Till Death Do Us Part, with Lock Up Your Daughters on it from 1981. It's probably one of their heaviest albums. But
What was the one with We'll Bring the House Down?
We'll Bring the House Down. That was
yeah, exactly the same name. Yeah.
That's the black one with
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know our Slades, don't we, Mitch?
They do indeed.
I love Slade. when I do a top 10 favourite British bands, Slade are going to be in it.
Yeah, they're definitely in my 100 greatest bands of all time.
Well, they got into my top 10 artists of all time that I did a couple of weeks ago. My true artists.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good video, Richard. Your true artists.
True artists.
Yeah. You know, the Slade album that I had years and years ago, and it was one that I lost, you know, over the course of time, moving house and everything. And that's their debut, you know, when they were full-on skinheads. I think they're
Ambrose Slade on that, weren't they?
No.
Yeah.
No, the Skinhead album was Play It Loud.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
That was their debut album as Slade, but they had one Ambrose Slade before that, which is the same band. It's really their second album, but it was a very sort of bluesy, gutsy, southern rock type. It wasn't the glam stump that we all know of Come On Feel the Noise, but it's a very, very good album as well.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it as being pretty good, but, you know, I've not heard it for years.
Whose idea was that then? Was that Chaz Chandler's idea to go for that image?
It was, yes, and it was
not one of his best, is it?
No, it wasn't.
No, Dave Hill talks about that extensively in his autobiography. Well, I've got the audio book on it, and he said they weren't very happy.
I know, but whose idea was Dave Hill's haircut then?
I know, the bowl haircut. And don't forget, Dave Hill went one step further in 1977, and he got a complete cue ball. He got everything shaved off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
I also ordered a Small Faces album for a friend of mine who's a big Small Faces nutcase. And I don't know if other people here have ordered stuff, and the sellers just rammed in another record or whatever for some reason. That was in with it.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant song. It is. It's fantastic.
Wasn't that in one of your top 10s, Richard, we done?
That was one of my top 10s for the 1980s, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's basically a Bee Gees song written by Barry Gibb.
Yeah, he's on the back sleeve with her.
Yeah, that's a fantastic album. Okay, it's not a rock album. It's great.
Oh, yeah. So this is a 7-inch single.
Yeah.
For some reason, he put it in with the Small Faces album I ordered, but it's not for me, I'm afraid.
Oh, Nick, come on.
No, don't start that. No.
Come on.
No. No.
It's one of the songs by Barbra Streisand. I don't mind, actually.
Sometimes if you order an album or two, they put an old crappy album over end, don't they? I had I had a Bernard Manning album one end.
Well, hey.
Once. Oh. Yeah, I've still got it actually, and a Captain and Tennille the other end.
Oh God.
That's a bit.
That's a combination and a half.
Yeah, and it just.
They use them as stiffeners just so that your album that you've ordered gets protected. And if there's no cardboard, that's what they do. If put copy albums in is to protect the main album if they do have the cardboard.
Yeah.
Sorry for the outburst of laughing.
Yes, Jimmy Bones.
Actually,
Jimmy, I agree with you. I think of all the making videos, the worst bit of it is the rendering. It takes forever.
Evening, B.
Good evening, B. Now, this is a lady. If you like music and cooking, go and check her channel out. Yeah, it's absolutely great channel. Oh.
I wonder if I can find it.
What are you doing, son?
Oh,
this is a short interlude as we see Nick's bottom flying in the air.
Yeah. Happens every week, though, doesn't it?
Yes. I think we get used to it now, don't we?
becoming a weekly feature.
Here we go.
I keep wanting to say it's the crack of doom, but
Yeah, the only saving grace for this is it's got a couple of bulldogs on the cover.
Oh,
I don't know that at all.
There's one song in there that love will keep us together.
Oh, I know it now.
so you got the southern fan of your bottom. Jimmy Barnes likes your bottom.
And Bernard.
What's that? The best of Bernard Manning?
oh, good
Right
Lord.
kind of music.
Oh, dearie me.
You know what? One of these days he's going to pull out Roy Chubby Brown, and we'll get shut down.
There's such classics on here as Love Story, Too Young, More Than You Know, Rosemary, Guilty. Well, I don't know what harpies are. You Made Me Love You.
Oh,
I
God,
Give
all
to
the
You, The Shadow of Your Smile, It's Magic,
God,
Spanish Eyes. Good God.
all the old romantics.
Yeah. I might send this to somebody's VCLT. So beware.
Oh no.
I'll be sent back not knowing at this address.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got Mike's address.
Oh, no, don't you dare. Yeah. I think it's an offence to send that sort of thing through the post.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Zeb.
Blimey. I've got Rob Walker's address as well.
I'm glad you haven't got mine yet, Nick.
No.
Oh, dear.
Why I haven't got rid of them, I don't know. But, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
Jimmy,
Jimmy.
you're
That's spot
on
on.
form tonight, Jimmy.
Manning wasn't a bad comedian. His stuff hasn't aged well at all. I'd rather listen to the local cats having sex than Manning singing.
Oh, now, come on. Come on.
He's right.
Yeah, I mean, how many people? I mean, that's a good topic. What people that have made albums that shouldn't have made albums?
Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
Yep.
William Shatner.
Yeah, yes.
Max Bygrave.
Oh, come on.
Neil Young. Neil Young.
Neil Young.
Oh, don't you? Yeah, Paul McCartney then.
Yeah.
I tell you, shouldn't have appeared on Jeff Beck's last ever album he recorded. Johnny Depp. He thinks he can play guitar and he thinks he can sing. He can't do neither.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking of good albums, I've been listening to the Cat Stevens album again this week, and it is fantastic.
It's a brilliant album.
Absolutely. It's really got me engaged with Cat Stevens again.
Is he going back to what he was, or is it totally new?
Mixture.
It's mostly, I think it's mostly going back, really. It's got a mixture of that Tea for the Tillerman, Teaser in the Fire Cat material, but there's bits of electric in there, like Buddha in the Chocolate Box. But it's just a really nice, they're very good quality songs, and it's a really nice listen.
Does he still have a good voice?
His voice is brilliant.
Yeah.
And you know the way you can always tell if it's been tampered with. What's the, you know, the way they muck about with people's voices?
Or the auto cue type thing, whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
You can always tell, and there's no indication of that at all. It just sounds like his natural voice.
Good.
And then if you want to see him doing some things live in the studio, you can hear his voice is still really, really good. So I don't think he's had to work too hard and get there in recordings because his voice is excellent.
Yeah, I mean that live performance at Glastonbury, he sounded better than Axl Rose anyway.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget as well, if you compare him to Paul McCartney's been touring for years. Cat Stevens packed it in '78 for God knows how many years. So his voice has been well rested. So it has.
I mean, that opening track of that album, it's got that sort of Matthew and Son vibe to it.
A little bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, I was so impressed with it. I mean, I didn't know he'd released a new album until I saw your video.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I'll go and have a see if it's on Spotify. And I've been playing it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great album. I have never been so impressed by a comeback album like that.
Well, it's not really a comeback as well, because since 2006, he's released about 4 or 5 albums. So he had his last one, which was released in, well, he actually redid Tea for the Tillerman as Tea for the Tillerman 2. He did that in 2020. And it's okay. It's a bit of a cop-out just re-recording your album and making it a little bit different. But the one before that, he actually revisited a few songs from the 60s, plus he recorded some new songs and called the album The Laughing Apple, and it is excellent as well. Really good, even though some of the songs are old 60s songs, but there's some new ones in there as well.
No, I haven't heard that one. You see, I sort of thought he'd, since he disappeared off the face of the earth, I haven't really listened to them, so I might go and have a listen to these now.
I think this one is the 6th since coming back in 2005, 2006.
So would you consider it his best one?
Sorry?
Do you think it's his best comeback album? Sorry, Simon. You go first.
Where is it in the albums chart? Do you know?
It actually got in at number 40 something, which was bad news because it means I think it dropped out the next week.
Pretty much.
So I don't think it has done very well, but his previous albums have done quite well.
Yeah.
In the charts. I think one of them got top 10, but this one, for some reason, I don't know why, just got in at number 40 and it's disappeared, which is a shame, but I don't think it really cares, to be honest with you.
No.
Because even if you do get a top 10 album now, you're going to go out the next week anyway, and the amount of sales that you get is nothing.
Yeah.
All you need is about 100 sales to get into the top 10.
Yeah,
but we were talking about this earlier, weren't we, Dave, about the album charts? What was you saying about?
I need to go and find a particular page.
Yeah, so do you think this is his best album since his comeback then, Richard?
Yes, since his comeback, yes. I still think Teaser and the Firecat is his best album from 1971. But from the new ones, I would say this is his best, and it's his most varied as well. But because I say it's his best, it doesn't mean the other ones are bad. I just think it's slightly better than. My second favorite actually is the Laughing Apple from 2018. As I said, there was a few old songs on it, but it's nearly every bit as good.
Yeah, it's one of my. Right, I got Mr. Walker waiting in the wings, so
give me 1 minute while I have a quick look. Was it this one?
Is it better than the High Flying Birds?
I think it is.
It's not that one.
Yeah.
Bernard Manning is.
I'm not. Funny enough, I'm not finding that.
Well, I've got that one, Cat Stevens, a good couple of years ago. VCLT.
That's the first sort of more experimental one for him, because before that he was just doing all acoustic guitar, really. This one has got a little bit of electric guitar and a couple of piano-only ballads, but that's a pretty good album, Catch Bullet 4. Big hit single off it called Can't Keep It In.
Yeah, I like that album.
There we go.
I've never played it. I saw it and I thought, well, somebody in the VC would appreciate it, but I've never ever sent it off. But
yeah, it's a decent album. It's not his best by a long shot, but it's a decent album.
It's on Island label, but I think this is by the looks of it, this is a West German pressing.
What was it?
Yeah.
All right. Cat entered and peaked at 49 and dropped to 61.
Well, there you go.
If anybody hasn't got it and they want it, just let me know. I'll send you it.
I've got it.
Right. Sorry, Ian, did you say you had somebody waiting to...
The legendary Rob Walker's waiting.
The legend in his own lifetime, in which case I'm out of here and I will catch you on the YouTube channel. Cheers, guys.
See you, Dave.
Bye, Dave. And as one goes, one comes in. Good evening, Rob.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, enjoyed that King Gizzard, Ian.
Thank you very much.
Very difficult, though, isn't it?
Very difficult, but it's one of the most enjoyable ones because, as I said, there isn't really a bad album amongst them. Apart from them two spoken word ones, which I'm not keen on, but everyone else, everywhere, album is really good. Some great songs on all of them.
I know, because you were saying, it's a really great album, and you're giving it like 6.2.
It's tough. I've got a weird ranking system, but it works for me. Ranking.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah. Anyway, talking of thing, the gallery is gonna have a new name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a more appropriate Obscurians.
Yeah.
Because we have obscure people.
Don't ask
You
me
laughing
about
at?
it, will you?
No, that's Rob's reply. Yeah.
We want to get away from the word gallery.
Has anyone watched that Melinda Murphy video from yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah.
What Mazzy did one, didn't he, about it? That's all I've seen.
Yeah. What do people think? Do you find it sort of difficult to explain to people why you have so many records?
Not really.
No.
No, just load of
All
bullshit,
the
really.
I couldn't give a stuff.
That's a hobby, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Royal Order of the Obscurians. That's a very good.
The Thinking Woman's Bits of Crumpet.
Who's that?
The new collective name.
Oh, right.
It's very British.
Yeah.
Yes, as you were saying this afternoon, Rob and I Rob was in the gallery and I was on for a little while. There was a bit of controversial as ever on Rachel's stream today, giving Michael from Japan a little bit of stick, but
Yeah, I'll always defend Michael because it's a little bit unfair. People giving him stick.
yeah, he was only.
Why? What was wrong as far as they were concerned?
Well, how would you put it without? He was sort of, well, according to Rachel, he was slagging off her stream a bit. And what I read of it, he was only telling the truth.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
Did you see that Davy Strange name video, Mike, that you were in with me?
No.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
watch,
I saw
there's a Davy Strange name video, and I'm talking about the conflict between Mazzy and Michael 45. So I'm like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's got your face listening. Yeah, it's good.
So what were you saying then?
You know, when I was saying about how Michael kind of used Mazzy, and I can't remember what you said. So
I remember having that conversation now. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in it with me, so it's quite funny.
Oh, Massey did a great impression of me doing my rankings. He had his albums in his bit. He was going, I'm going down the pub. I thought that was quite funny.
I'll have to have a look out for that one. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, if you look at it, it was about a week ago that he put it up.
He's getting better, isn't he, Davey Strange name?
Yeah, I don't know him.
Well, he's a little bit anonymous, isn't he? But he kind of takes the mickey out of certain people.
Bit of a
Most
mystery.
of them on Rachel's stream, like Mazzy and people like that.
All right.
What was that, Simon? That big announcement that you made, I couldn't make head nor tail of it. Can you explain it to me?
It's too long-winded to go through it all, Rob.
Have you got an edited version then?
I haven't, no.
I
You
was
have to
trying
read
to make sense of it, but I was struggling a little bit.
All right.
What was it like? You were trying to sort of back away from making videos?
I was, to a degree, like, regarding minutes, just sort of making shorts and the occasional video,
I think shorts have sort of had the day now. I think that, that bit of a fad. I think it's kind of on the wane now.
No, I don't
what
think
anyone
so.
else thinks.
I think it's here to stay, to be honest with you.
Pardon?
I think it's here to stay.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if it's just people opening Amazon packages with one hand, and holding a phone with the other.
Yeah, that's me, that.
I know.
You just wandered down the garden path.
Yeah, that's on Instagram, that.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that on Instagram today.
Yeah, that's a good one, that. Richard misses all that excitement on Instagram, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not on Instagram nor Twitter. I am on Facebook, though.
Instagram's really good. It's a good way of sort of just connecting with people. I really like Instagram.
What's the difference between Instagram and Facebook?
Not much. They're run by the same people.
Yeah.
Well, on Instagram, I mean, I don't.
It's like, what's the difference between WhatsApp messaging and Facebook messaging or whatever you call it, Messenger? There's no difference. One's enough for me.
Yeah.
I just think
I
when it
found
comes to, like CDs, a short's kind of quick and easy, isn't it? It's more sort of beneficial rather than making a 10-minute video showing CDs.
Yeah,
but I found Richard on Facebook. It popped up people you may know, and I thought, who's this dodgy character? So it's
mine was a bit different.
It's for Martin Evening. Stunty did a very long video about opening a nurse with a wound. I did not watch, but how long to open a packet?
Yeah.
For that Stunty, does everything a bit different. Silence. Yeah. Golden. Anyway, there is. I was discussing with Dave. There is going to be a non-music video coming up on the channel about when Dave and I did our road trip to Ennis a couple of years ago. Just travelling there and back, so that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still playing it?
Yeah, I'm driving people at work. I'm driving them mad. They're getting sick of it. When you play a record to death, I've absolutely played this to death. Need to give it a break.
Won't play it now for the next 6 months.
Honestly, I played it so much. I love it so much. But I don't know, Richard, have you ever seen this album?
No, I haven't. No. Please sting the girls and make them die. No.
Charm.
Yeah. So it's a double live Police album from 1979.
I take it as a bootleg.
Yeah. So I picked it up.
It's not an official one.
Picked it up from a charity shop for £12.
So
very nice.
yeah,
Does
it's
it give
the Brigade de Blanc period, so it's you could argue it's the best period as well. But yeah,
what's the quality like?
good. But because it's a bootleg, it's not on Discogs, is it? So I found someone trying to sell it for 275 quid.
Bloody hell.
And then I found someone trying to sell it for 70 quid. So 12 quid were a good deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. That was a good find.
I got some.
I mean,
I bought some singles. You want to see them?
Yeah, I'll make you big. Show off your purchases.
Yeah, they were 50p each. So nothing to get too excited about. I don't know if Richard's got that. Have you got that, Richard?
I do have it. Yeah, the 4-track EP. That's very good, actually.
Yeah, I've not played any of these yet.
Crazy Love by Van Morrison on it.
Right. Yeah. So it's got a purpose label on it as well. So these were all 50p. So I didn't think that was bad.
What year is that, Rob?
Pardon?
What year is that?
I think it's about
85, 86.
Yeah, about 85, something like that.
All right.
I got it from the record fair in Manchester, first Saturday of every month. So there was a guy. So I got this. I think I've got it on. I don't know, but Playground Twist by Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, good record.
Yeah.
I've always wanted this. Norman Bates by Landscape.
Yeah, I've got that one.
That's a great. I prefer that to Einstein the Go-Go.
Yeah, it's like a promo. So, one of them records that I've always wanted to have. This is the cover's not in great condition, but it's from Wilder by Teardrop Explodes, Colours Fly. Well, there's a box set of Teardrop Explodes just come out, hasn't there? 7 discs, I think. This is my first record by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, blimey.
So,
What year is that? 83-ish?
Yeah, something like that. We Are Normal, it's called. So if there's anyone in the gallery from America, I don't think they ever did anything in the UK. I bought this. I'd never heard of this either. Remember N?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Modern Man. Never heard that.
No. Them were just known really for pop music, weren't they?
Yeah. So I picked that up. And then I picked up a picture disc. So this is a British group who were really successful in America, but not in the UK. And I've been getting into them over the last couple of years. It's The Fix.
Mm-hmm.
So this is called Red Skies. This is good stuff. So I like The Fix. And one for Richard here that he'll have. David Bowie.
Yeah.
That people. 50p. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
What's on the B side, Richard?
I think it's not a Bowie track. I think it's Paul's theme or something like that there, but it's not actually Bowie.
Yeah, Paul's theme. It says David Bowie though. But
That's not, I think so.
I've been listening to a lot of Rush lately, and I've always liked this. I think I've actually got it somewhere. Spirit of Radio by Rush.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
From 81. So I like Tom Sawyer as well. I thought that was on the B-side, but it's not. And I've already got this, but I just got it because it was 50p. Masquerade by Skids.
Yeah, I've got that.
Do you have the
great single?
Pardon?
Do you have the double pack of that?
Yeah.
Masquerade. Aye.
Yeah. Have you noticed that Days in Europe has been reissued on double disc?
Is it both mixes? You know, the way the first Days of Europa was your guy with the yellow cover.
Well, it's got I think it's got 6 different tracks on it as well, and
Right.
it's got the the original artwork.
Yeah.
And
But that album with the original artwork was the original mix, and then the second artwork was a different mix altogether. Now I have the original one on CD, but I have the other one on vinyl. So
Have you got
I wouldn't-
Joy by the Skids on vinyl?
No, I haven't. I was going to ask you that last week as well. Is it any good? Do you know?
Well, I saw it on Saturday for 12 quid, and I nearly bought it.
Ah,
But
you should have bought it.
Someone told me that it weren't very good, but then someone else told me it was pretty good, so I
It's
should
a
have bought
different-
it, really.
It's a different sound, I believe. I think it's
Yeah.
more experimental, like Bruce thingy at long left. Bruce,
It's
or
got
what do you
just
call it?
Richie Job. It's got Richie Jobson's face, hasn't it,
Yeah.
on the cover?
Yeah.
Well, they're touring, aren't they? I think they're supporting from the Jam.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob,
All right.
Stephen Schnees just sang about the Fix, a great band. 4 of their 5 original members are still in the band after 40 years. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think they're one of those bands. I mean, Richard will say the same as me. They got very little airplay in the UK, didn't they, Richard?
Oh, very, very little. Very little.
But I've kind of been listening to them while I've been doing other things, and I've been really getting into them. A bit like I've got into the Tubes as well. I think they're a little bit underrated, but you've got to
If
spend
you think-
time.
Yeah. A lot of those American bands didn't get played very much over here.
No.
Like you think about it, Cars didn't even get played very much over here
No, that's
until Drive, which was a monster hit. Okay, there were a few hits in the late 70s, but generally speaking, the Cars are regarded as one of the best American bands by American people.
Yeah.
But they didn't really get the airplay here at all.
No, everyone seems to think that that's their thing. Drive, but they've made some great rock records before Drive.
Yeah. That was
The,
the last one,
the
wasn't
thing
it,
about
really?
the thing about the Cars is their first album's regarded as their best, and I think it's probably their worst because I do really like the singles off it, but I think the rest of it is very mediocre. But the stuff from the early 80s, like Shake It Up and Panorama, I think are far better albums. They're more synth poppy than the debut.
Yeah.
And even the second album, Candio, the one with the cool cover with the red headline on the car, is a far better album for me than the first one.
Yeah.
But everyone in America said the first one's almost like a greatest hits. But
Yeah. I love Let's Go on that second album. I think that's brilliant, mate.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
absolutely love Let's Go.
I'm like a lot of people, I think, I never even heard of the Cars until Live Aid.
Yeah.
I've got a picture disc I picked up in a charity shop the other week. You're going to laugh at this. I brought it because it was a picture disc. Remember the band Bardo?
One Step Further.
I've got the picture disc.
I didn't hope you didn't pay more than 10p for it.
That's a grail, that.
I paid 25 pence for it because it was just
Borderline.
but it's a picture disc, a 7-inch picture disc, and that's why I got it. Not the best album in the single in the world, but it's a picture disc.
Well, that was our follow-up to Bucks Fizz. That was supposed to be the one that would do it because that was 1982 and Bucks Fizz, who was 81. But Bardot, I remember in Pop the Pops when she used to twirl around under his finger.
Yeah, they're definitely the poor man's Bucks Fizz.
Where did it end up finishing then in the contest?
I think it was about 4th or something.
Well, yeah, it was top 10. It was one we used to do well in it, wasn't it? Some of the trash that we had this year, God. Even ours wasn't the best song.
I haven't watched it, I don't think, since Lordy won it.
Something just fell off the back. I'm not picking it up. Yeah, that's someone said to me. One of the comments left. And if you're going to put albums on the book, make sure they're straight.
I've got another record here by a band who are going to be the new Beatles. Can anyone guess who that is? In about
Oasis.
79. From who?
Oasis.
No, from 1979, American.
Ugh.
God.
Oh, the Knack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know one song of theirs, and it's the obvious one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people in America get quite excited about the Knack, don't they?
Matt Street really likes them. He likes all their albums.
Yeah.
I
like
must
that.
admit, I've never heard their album stuff. I've only got
Good Girls
My
Don't. That's
Sharona.
quite a good song.
I don't know it.
Yeah, it was a single, but it wasn't a hit.
I
If
think
Stephen
everybody had
Sneed's
them.
here, he'll know all about the Knack, won't he?
Uh,
I think all I got is My Sharona. I think a lot of people.
Yeah.
My Sharona is an
Yeah.
absolute classic.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean, I
cracking-
always had them
cracking
down as
song,
one hit
isn't it?
wonders. So
Yeah.
Good album, actually.
Yeah, apparently Good Girls is a great song as well. Awesome. Oh, is this our album?
this was later in the 80s by the cover, I think.
Now, hey, some people here
What?
now are going to have a panic attack because it's 1991.
Oh my God!
Clue, right?
Simon will be on the boat today.
Right.
This
So,
might
Simon,
be Simon's
this is your
moment.
moment of glory.
Yeah, I'll try.
Right, okay. I'm going to name the artist and you've got to name the song. This is the album.
Yeah.
A quick flash of the gatefold. So I'll name the artist, and a lot of them are quite obvious, but so the first one was the number one, Vanilla Ice. You should get this one.
I say, Davey.
it's like baby.
Right. Two in a Room.
Sorry, who?
Two in a Room.
Never heard of them.
No, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. You'll know the song. Pete,
Is Simon checking them off?
does anyone know it? I bet someone in the gallery will know.
Jimmy Barnes has put Wiggle It.
Correct, Jimmy will know. I knew Jimmy know. Jimmy will know this one as well. Well, it could be. They had quite a few hits. The KLF.
Justified and Ancient.
No,
Last train to Trans Central.
no.
3 a.m. Eternal.
Who said that, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey! Well done.
Wait for everyone else to get the wrong ones and then finish it.
Right. I think this is a bit of a one-hit wonder, but Soho.
Oh, is that the one that used How Soon As Now? I
Yeah,
can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Ah, damn. I can't remember the name.
Someone will get it. Jimmy will get it.
Come on, Jimmy. I think we need your help again, mate.
I hope he's not Googling.
There we go.
Happy
Happy
Chick.
Happy Chick.
Never heard of it.
No, don't know.
Do you hear us, Rob? Do you hear us, Rob? No.
Oh, he's disappeared.
He's buggered off.
I don't think he could hear us.
Oh,
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Yeah, Hippie Chick, that's the one that uses the music, the Smiths, How Soon As Now, and had a big hit with it. I remember that coming out. Disgusted that somebody used the Smiths song.
Yeah.
But
I made it a bigger hit.
Some Paul Tuggers got it, weren't they? Actually,
Anyway,
I saw a lot of Smiths records at the car boot last weekend.
Oh, you should have bought them, honestly, because they're expensive unless they were.
Well, these were going for about 15, 20 quid each.
Well, that's the normal price for the Smiths records now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smiths, yeah.
I'm not really a Smiths fan, to be honest. The odd single's okay, but that'll do for me.
Right, can you hear us now?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened there. Right. So someone said Soho, didn't they, for Hippie Chick? No?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. Right. This is quite an easy one. The Lars.
Gotta be there.
There she goes.
There she goes.
There she goes. Yeah.
The Farm.
All together.
All together now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Jesus Jones.
Oh God. Can't remember.
No, that.
Oh God.
They used to sing one that started off Jesus Jones. Jesus Jones.
I've got the first album on CD, and
Yeah. Is it Doubt?
yeah.
Yeah,
This
this is
is
on that album.
above me.
Is it something like Bright Young Thing or something like that?
Yeah.
Was that, is that the title, or is it? Oh, right.
Yeah, well done. I'll give you that one. A Tribe Called Quest.
Adrift
It's
to Memory.
called Quest.
Which one, Simon?
Adrift to Memory Bliss.
No, that's PM Dawn, isn't it?
PM Dawn, yeah.
Can I kick it?
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
Seal.
Can only think of one.
Crazy.
Crazy. That's the only one I can think of.
Well, that's what it is. That's why.
All right.
MC Hammer.
Hammer time.
Someone say you can't touch this, isn't there?
Yeah.
Can't touch this.
I think he became a priest, didn't he, or a vicar or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Right. Black Box.
Right on
Right
time.
on time.
No.
Nah, I don't know.
There you go.
Right. It's a cover version of a Earth, Wind and Fire song.
September.
No.
Let's Groove.
No.
Boogie Wonderland.
No. Come on, Richard. Come on, keep going.
Can't think of any other.
Hang on, I think Jimmy's got given an answer. Everybody, everybody.
What's that for?
They just don't know. It's just I'm just and strike it up.
Fantasy. That's what it was.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
The
go.
Beautiful South. Beautiful South.
What year is it?
91.
A little time.
Got to be a little time.
Yeah, that'll do. There's quite a lot on here you won't know. So, yeah, that's the compilation.
All right.
Awesome.
I don't. That woman who sang that Ride on Time, Black Box, she didn't sing it.
No.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. Those other ones, isn't it? Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, they didn't sing it.
I didn't see it either. Yeah.
And it's the same as Alvin Stardust, Mike Cuckachoo. He didn't sing it either.
Really?
Oh, it was Pete Shelley, and then because it became a hit, Pete Shelley had to get somebody to mime it, and it was Alvin Stardust, and then Alvin Stardust started singing all the other ones. But it's actually Pete Shelley's voice on My Cuckachoo.
But I mean, he had a bit of fame before Alvin Stardust. Anyway, didn't he? Was he Shane Fenton?
Shane Fenton, yeah.
So why wasn't he singing his own hit song?
Because he had nothing to do with the song. It was just because Pete Shelley wrote a song, recorded it, and it got played, but he didn't want to get the exposure or do the Top of the Pops appearances. It was then released under the name Alvin Stardust. Forget about Shane Fenton. He didn't know who Alvin Stardust was. But whenever it became a hit, Pete Shelley brought him in and made him Alvin Stardust. So he was the guy that started singing as Alvin.
Amazing. Well, why did I know this before? That's an amazing story.
There you go.
I said about it was compliance with an Italian dance music. Right on Time used a Loetta Holloway sample. They just needed a full mold to Yeah, I mean, I've got a Shane Fenton single. One side's got I'm a Moody Guy, and on the other's 5'2", Eyes of Blue.
Mm.
You know, last week I was saying about famous sort of albums that you've never heard. What about bands that you've never heard? You know, people talk about them and you kind of nod your head, but you've actually never even listened to them.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Never heard a single track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me neither.
What about bands from the 70s, though? You know, is there anyone?
The Allman Brothers. Never heard a single thing of the Allman Brothers.
No.
Yeah. I'd have probably been the same. But
I was going to say Leonard Skinner, but I do know the two Leonard Skinner songs, so I can't say that.
Yeah,
You're not.
I mean, till about 3 months ago, I'd never heard anything by Little Feat.
Right.
Little Feat, never heard a thing of them either.
Yeah, I did about the same about sort of 4 years ago, but I started to buy Little Feat albums.
Yes, have I.
What do you think?
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. Have you got that?
It's a strange mix. It's a kind of sort of a California take on Southern rock, isn't it? It's a bit odd, but yeah, I think they're pretty good.
Have you got that? Is it Waiting for Columbus? Have you got that live album?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one with the swing.
That's that in it. Oh, have you got that? I've got most of them, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of the titles now, but
there's one
I
called
picked it up at a record fair, and I thought, yeah, this is good stuff.
Something called Chicken something, isn't there? I can't remember which one it's called.
Yeah, hang on, I'll check my
But they're a group who had sort of no commercial success whatsoever in the UK.
That's right.
We got an echo again.
A few months ago, I hadn't heard anything by Chrome.
Right.
Never.
Yeah, well, big bands like, reasonably well-known bands like Bebop Deluxe, I've never heard a single thing of. Camel,
Right.
I've never heard a single thing of.
Right.
Quite a lot of rock bands I've never heard a single thing of.
Yeah, I've been listening to Camel. I like Camel. I think they're good.
Yeah, very underrated band.
Yeah. Mirage is a brilliant album.
Yeah.
But then I'm into prog anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a live album by them, and is it Snow Goose? I've got that one.
Yeah, that's
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And first 3 or 4 Camel albums are just essential prog albums in my books.
So who do you think if you think of prog, who are the sort of, I would say number one prog band, but which is the most prog band? Is it Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
I was just going to say,
being full on prog.
Yeah, what is the most proggy prog band?
Well, I think I would say sort of, Emerson, Lake and Palmer are up there in the sort of, the crossover to sort of classical music.
Yeah.
That kind of prog, the kind of, the highfalutin sort of intellectual stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like Curved Air. They're in that sort of classical,
I don't know, because Curved Air are sort of, they have their sort of, their moments like that. But then if you get stuff like Backstreet Love, which I think is an absolutely brilliant single, it's not really proggy at all, is that?
No. I mean, another band, Gentle Giant, they're very out there prog, aren't they?
There's the Enid as well.
The Enid, that's another band that are out there.
Yeah.
But they're great. I love them.
Yeah. I think it's quite difficult to sort of persuade anybody that they're a great band, though.
Yeah.
What is the best prog album? What would you recommend?
You're not going to go far wrong with Close to the Edge.
No. In fact, Close to the Edge isn't even my favourite Yes album.
I would say England by the Pound by Genesis is the best.
I
album.
think an album that sort of over the years sort of really grew on me was Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Mhm.
You know,
No,
Peter
I go with
Gabriel's
Richard as well.
Last
Selling
Genesis.
England by the Pound is just a phenomenal album.
Oh yeah. I mean that's a great album.
Is there
First and Fifth is a brilliant track.
So what about American prog then? Does that exist?
Yeah. Kansas.
Yeah.
Kansas is probably one of the bigger
Yeah, you like them,
proper
don't you?
prog bands.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're Canadian, aren't they? Rush.
Rush, yeah.
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 But Rush have been everything, haven't they? Rock, prog,
Yeah.
synthy. Yeah, there's not many what I call American prog, but genuine prog bands. They're all
That's what I'm thinking. You know, I mean, I'm no expert, as you can tell.
Yeah. But if you sort of hunt around and sort of anyone that's doing a sort of, you know, top 10 sort of prog albums or top 10 prog bands, they're nearly always British bands.
Yeah.
You know, very few sort of bands from outside the UK get a look in on most of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, prog to me is Europe. I mean, it's Italy, Holland, and the UK are the big prog countries in Europe.
Yeah, particularly Italy. I mean, PFM are a brilliant band. So are Banco.
Yeah, I've just got into Maxophone thanks to Naomi.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they only do about one album?
She's.
And it's
I'm not going to go too
brilliant.
much into it, but we're doing something, another video, and I've been listening to this Maxophone album in Italian. My Italian's improved, but they are good. And there's another good band from Holland called Alquin. They're a really good prog band as well, very European.
Oh, I don't know them, Ian.
Yeah, Roger Bain produced one of their albums.
Right.
That's how I got into them.
Yeah. I must apologise because I started this conversation off.
I know, because I think Nick's fallen asleep. I have a question.
I haven't got a bloody clue as to who or what you lot are going on about.
Well, you might have a clue about this one. I have a question since the whole panel is from the UK.
Yeah.
And this is something that really confuses me. It actually gets on my nerves a little bit. The term new wave in the UK is completely different to the term new wave in America.
Yeah.
Do you agree? And if so, what do you define, or what sort of bands do you consider as new wave? Anybody?
Oh,
see, I sort of things like Depeche Mode.
No,
they're not new wave.
They're pop.
You see, Rob showed an album by the Knack. I would say they would be more new wave. I would say people like Elvis Costello and Joe Jackson, Graham Parker, new wave-ish, even Squeeze a little bit new wave-ish. Those sort of late 1970s, 1978, 79 guitar-based bands.
Yeah.
And then the ones that the Americans say, like the Thompson Twins, I would say they're more pop electric.
They're like synth pop, aren't they?
Synth pop, really.
But yeah, I agree with you, Richard. I think they're the sort of bands that sort of weren't punk, but they might appear on the same bill.
Yes.
Punk band.
Maybe not as harsh as punk, but still not the same amount of piss and vinegar, as you say.
Yeah. And I think you're right about Costello.
Thompson Twins.
You see, that to me is electropop.
Where would you put Ultravox? Because they started, I would
think them almost new romantic, especially at the start, or even Vienna was very new romantic. And then they turned a little bit more electric pop.
Yeah, but when they started with John Fox.
Well, they were more punk, were they not? Or more post-punk?
Yeah. I would say XTC fit in.
I would have put XTC into the sort of new wave character.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. The Police, they'd be new wave, wouldn't they?
New wave as well.
Yeah.
And even Blondie, as Chris has said.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
well,
you,
the
like you
Jam,
already,
they were they're not a bit of a strange one.
when you're talking new wave, you're kind of verging on post-punk, aren't you?
Well,
Basically.
that's funny, man.
But more post-punk. Post-punk's
Suppose you
like
have-
Gang of Four, Killing Joke, Susie and the Banshees. That's post-punk.
Even Adam and
Yeah.
Neil, if you think about it as well, would be post-punk, especially their Kurt Wears White Socks.
White
Yeah.
Socks, yeah, that's very
Yeah,
post-punk,
that
isn't it?
first album, yeah.
But then
Yeah.
the
I hate the way some of these sort of genres are bandied about. You know, it never sort of sits right with me. But there you go. What the hell do I know?
Yeah, that's true.
I think you're right, Nick. You know, it's sort of they're almost sort of interchangeable, aren't they? You know, one day you're
Yeah.
a punk, next day you're new wave, you're indie,
Yeah.
and it means nothing. And I mean that's another term, sort of indie. I mean, back in the
Put
day,
a label on music.
indie actually meant something. It was a sort of, you know, the DIY. You know, you go out with 50 quid and you record your single and press 50 copies. You know, that was proper indie. That was getting away from the, you know, the big record labels. And then
Yeah.
you get sort of, you know, like Two Tone and Stiff and these other labels that sort of serviced all of that. That was indie.
Yeah.
But now it's any chance with a guitar, you know, and you know, that's not indie.
yeah, I was
So
sort of
let's
supposed.
Go on, carry on.
You see,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
like some of the modern day rock bands like the Foo Fighters and them sort of bands. I don't consider them rock bands because they're not heavy enough for me to be rock bands. You know, the
What?
rock bands,
I
they're
know
not. They're a bit, you know, I like that. I like the music, but it's not rock. It's got
What
not
is it
enough
then?
beat for it.
that. I think it's got to be rock, isn't it? Foo Fighters.
I
I
don't know.
thought
how
that was like stadium rock. I don't know.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
say the same.
Yeah, it's not. You know, rock to me is Deep Purple and that's Roy Heap. That's rock.
Yeah.
But
And
not,
Stephen G makes a good point. I consider new wave bands to be those artists that mix guitar and keyboards, not quite power pop or post punk, but not quite synth pop. Well, I look at new wave more towards power pop than synth pop. To be quite honest,
Yeah, me too.
I actually would say that the Jam, although they were like a mod band, they were almost like a new wave band.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Rather-
they call them punk, don't they? New wave. I've always known it as mod revival.
Mhm.
There's lots of subgenres as well, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
So
Like the Police as well. You call the Police new wave, but you could almost call the Police called reggae. Because if you listen to Regala de Blanc, there is a lot of reggae in that.
Oh yeah.
So there is,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
brilliant, as you know.
Yeah. So what would you call the Clash?
The Clash, I would say, started off as punk, and then I don't know. They also
exactly.
like, because they went into dub as well. They also went into.
You know, I mean, there's a bit of everything in there in those later albums. You know, London Calling and Sandinista.
The first two albums, I would say, are well. The first one is raw punk, and the second one, Give 'Em Enough Rope, which I actually do prefer, is more polished punk. But then after that, they just almost went their own way and did their own thing, and it's very difficult to define.
I can't get on with the album London Calling. To me, there's only two deep. Well, I'm going to upset a lot of people here. To me, it's an album by a band who've forgotten who and what they are, what they were supposed to be. London Calling, I think, is a fantastic punk song. But the only other song on there I rate is Train in Vain, and I wouldn't call that punk.
No. I wouldn't call any of it punk.
No, well, the actual song London Calling, I would. But like I say, to me, it's an album by a band who've lost their way, to be honest. You know, they were a political punk band, weren't they, at the start? And well, I don't know. I suppose bands try and progress, don't they, and whatever. But I honestly don't know what people see in the album London Calling. I really don't.
I don't rate it either.
A lot of people rate that as like one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah, that might be right, but
so many different styles of music in that. Like you've got Jimmy Jazz, which is like almost like a jazzy type number, and then you get Hateful, which is almost nearly rockabilly. Really, it's very, very catchy. And stuff like that there. Okay, Train in Vain is the one I don't particularly like. And funny enough, it's the one that's not even credited on the album, even though it's the last song. For some reason, they don't credit it.
Yeah, it is a funny sort of album, that, isn't it? It is, as Nick says, it's lost their way, they're struggling for ideas.
I don't know. I think it was their Purple Patch that had so many ideas, that they had so many different styles of music thrown in, and I think it's a masterful album. I think it's really good. Like the Card Cheat is a piano type sort of mid-paced ballad, and it's one of the best things I've ever did. And it's just really good. And then you get the punky tracks as well, like Death or Glory, which is another great one. And then you get the dub of, what's the dub one? The Guns of Brixton by Paul Simonon. Another great song. That was released as a single about 10 years later. But I know, fantastic album.
That album, it's one of them albums that I can never remember any of the tracks. Well, then when I play it, I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Rudy Can't Fail. Rudy Can't Fail is another one. There should have been about 4 singles taken off that album, but for some reason, no. The one.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, Stephen Schnee, in my opinion, London Calling gets the better with each year passing. An incredible album. Sinister was half great. Combat Rock was just blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, Combat Rock wasn't very good.
Well,
it was all right.
Combat Rock was the very first time I'd ever heard The Clash. I bought it on cassette because people were saying, oh, The Clash, they're punk, oh, brilliant band, blah, 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 blah. I put Combat Rock on. I thought, well, what the bloody hell is this old rubbish? I couldn't abide it. Especially that.
I remember.
Know Your Rights, is it?
Oh, that's my favourite song off it. I love that one. That's got a wee bit of rockabilly guitar at the end of it with a couple of keynotes from the piano. It is fantastic. The second side of that album is not as good, without a shadow of it. There's one great song called Ghetto Defendant on the second side, but it's the first side of Combat Rock, which I think is very falls apart for me.
I've got the first album, and I've got Give 'Em Enough Rope, but I've not played them for years, probably because I don't really care much for London Calling. I'll have to dig them out and give them another listen, give them another try. But I honestly don't know what people see in the album London Calling. I really don't.
No, I don't.
Have you ranked the Clash albums, Richard? Have you done a video doing that?
I haven't done it yet. I've been thinking of doing it, and I thought there's
only back in 2021, so a long time ago. I did that. I can't even remember what my number one is.
My all-time favourite Clash song is on Give 'Em Enough Rope, and it's Tommy Gun.
I've got that single.
I remember seeing them doing it on one of those shows. I don't think it was Old Grey Whistle Test, but it was one of those shows. It was flipping magnificent. And your girl Jordan was there watching, the punk girl.
Yeah.
I think she died last year or a couple of years ago, didn't she?
What's everyone's favourite Clash single? Mine's Magnificent Seven.
Mine's Tommy Gun.
I can tell you one that I've been listening to today. I've got it here.
What?
English Civil War.
Oh yeah, that's good. That
I knew you'd know this. Yeah.
The B-side is Pressure
Drop. You're all gonna cringe at mine.
Yeah,
I love that. I don't know why.
Which one?
Yeah, London Calling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my second. So what do you think of the Damned? Do you think they're punk or gothic rock?
Both.
They were.
Start
They were
off.
punk, weren't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually saw them. They were the first band to ever play at the Derngate Theatre.
Were they
I've
really?
seen the Damned.
Yeah, for that, Nick will know that it's our lockout. It was we thought we was going to get big bands, and it went downhill from there.
Yeah.
I think they're bloody fantastic.
They're
Damned.
great
Yeah.
live. They
Yeah, me
were
too.
absolutely brilliant live.
But you say are they punk or are they gothic? But I mean, my favourite Damned album is Strawberries, and I don't think it's punk, and I don't think it's goth. It's just a brilliant album.
But it's funny you mention that, Mike, because I've just pulled it out.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It's a brilliant album, but I wouldn't say it's punk.
No, it reminded me of Phantasmagoria.
Yeah.
That is one album I'm dying to get hold of on vinyl, Phantasmagoria. I enjoyed this though. Cracking album. And I thoroughly recommend the last one they brought out. Darkadelic. Brilliant. And it, like
only heard-
somebody already said, they're a fantastic live band.
Yeah, I mean, I never heard any of their stuff when I saw them, but I just went because we got tickets. We was given some tickets, so and I come out of there and absolutely amazed. What made me laugh though, all the people in the thing expected everyone to sit down.
Here's another one I picked up recently. Is this punk or is it new wave?
Oh,
I know very little about her.
Yeah, well, I don't either, apart from she's German.
Is that the same Nina that did 99?
No, I don't think.
No, that's Nina.
Nina
with an E. Yeah.
Looks like
that 99 Red Balloons is, I'd probably put in the new wave bracket.
No, I wouldn't.
More synth, isn't it?
We're 1984, that, weren't it?
Pop, maybe.
So I'm
What's your favourite single, everybody? Your favourite Damned single?
Eloise. I know it's cheesy, but I love their version of Eloise.
I go Love Song.
That's a
I
good one.
go either Smash It Up or I Just Can't Be Happy Today.
Well, Smash It Up's good as well.
I'd have to pick, actually, it was a B-side. Nasty.
Yeah.
Won't be a
On the
minute.
young one.
It's like the Stranglers, isn't it, Richard? They were kind of class. What were they?
Well, I think they started off as punk as well, but their music didn't sound punk. They sounded more like a punk version of the Doors with all the keyboard. But at their gigs, apparently, it was worse than a Pistols gig. You know, they were pretty dangerous gigs to be at.
Yeah.
But their music mellowed down a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a punch up with the Sex Pistols or something like that? Or one of them?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if JJ did. He black belt, I think, in karate, isn't he?
Oh, blimey.
Because you ranked the Stranglers albums, haven't you, Richard?
I did the ones from 77 to 89. The Hugh Cornwell ones are 90.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of their albums are pretty decent, aren't they? Quite
They
a bit underrated.
They are. Some of them take a bit of listening to. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If you hear the Gospel According to the Men in Black, you know.
Yeah.
On first hearing, you think this is the biggest pile of garbage you'll ever hear in your life.
Yeah.
Give it a few listens, and it starts to sink in, and it's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Dark Matters was a good album, I thought.
That's their last album. I thought it was really good. Really good.
Yeah.
I think I picked it up on the strength of your little review on it, Richard. I think
Yeah.
I
Randy
ummed
Nelson.
and hard over it and dived in. Yeah, great album.
Yeah, Randy Nelson is also very appreciative of that album as well. He thinks it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Now, the other ones, you know, the thing about the 90s and the 2000s albums, I do have them in CDs. I bought them all for really, really cheap money.
Yeah.
And I probably played them once or even only 3/4 of the way through. But they could be better than what I think they are. So
Yeah.
really, I need to actually listen to them again.
Yeah.
Because I know the previous one, it's the one where they're hanging upside down on a clothesline. And there's a few tracks off that I really do like. I must give it another listen.
Yeah.
And Norfolk Coast is supposed to be pretty good as well.
What's your favourite Stranglers tune then?
Golden Brown.
Oh no, it wouldn't be.
No.
That's a tough one.
I like
Go ahead.
I like Duchess and I like 5 Minutes
Duchess,
as well.
yeah.
But I like Peaches.
Yeah. But I've got a bit of a soft spot for Walk On By.
Yeah. That's another good one.
Yeah.
I really like the debut single, Gotta Get a Grip on Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Nice and Sleazy I like as well.
Another good one
Yeah.
as well.
They did some great singles and that, didn't they? Great singles band.
Brilliant.
I like that instrumental.
I don't
Waltz
think
in
they quite
Black.
get the recognition, me, Stranglers, really.
No.
No.
But yet again, now they're down. Now they're still touring, but it's only the one member, JJ.
Yeah.
Because two of them are dead, and the one he tours on his own, Hugh. So if you go to see the Stranglers now, are you actually seeing the Stranglers? You're just seeing JJ Brunel and 3 others. Well,
yeah.
Okay. Your guy, I can't remember his name, that does the lead. Is it Baz or whatever? He's been there quite a few years, but he's not an original member.
No,
When I saw the Stranglers in 2019, just before the pandemic, at least there was 2 there because Dave Greenfield was still there. Now, he came out in front of the keyboard to wave and everyone, and that man looked so ill. So he did, and that was in 2019. And so any whiff of COVID was going to kill him, and it did.
Yeah, when I saw them back in, I saw them at Milton Keynes Bowl. They were one of the acts on with Simple Minds on their real life tour. And I think it was just after Hugh had left.
Oh.
So you'd still got that solid group. And Dave was brilliant on keyboards. The best sound that come off stage that day was Dave's keyboards.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, apart from Simple Minds, I'd say that was my favourite band of the day, the Stranglers. Absolutely.
Well, back in the early 80s, whenever you had the NME and the Melody Maker polls and all the rest of it, Dave Greenfield used to win it all the time for about 3 years in a row, best keyboardist.
Yeah.
So
I liked him in the video to Duchess when he's there on the old church organ giving it video. You could imagine smoke and flames coming out them pipes, couldn't you?
Yeah,
but
that's right. Yeah.
If you look
Golden Brown's good video as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
They were the most on-punk looking band ever. Really,
Yeah.
They were apart from JJ, who was a vicious looking character. The rest of them either looked like your uncle, or your dad, or your granddad.
Yeah.
Well, you took it, Dave Greenfield. He looked like he wouldn't say boo to a goose, would he? He'd just sit there playing his keyboards. But you know, what a pair of he was just brilliant as a keyboardist. He made that band in my books. He was the catalyst.
I think all 4 of them did. They've all got their sound. Like your man JJ's bass, unmistakable. It's a bit whenever you talk about the Who's John Entwistle, I talk the same about JJ Brunel for the Stranglers.
Yeah.
And even
especially on the Peaches, the bass line to Peaches is just incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think their cover of Walk On By would be that good if it wasn't for Dave's keyboards.
It's no, I like it. It goes on a bit, but it's a bit like the big one, Light My Fire. It goes on forever as well. The big keyboard bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like it. There is actually an edited version of that you can get on one of the hit CDs, which cuts it by about 3 minutes, which is better, I think.
Yeah.
See, I love Dave's keyboard on No More Heroes. I think that is just one of his best.
Yeah, you could easily name 10 great Strangler singles, can't you? Keep rhyming them off, really.
Yeah.
I would, if I could do my top 10 singles of the Stranglers, it'd be a hard task because there's so many great singles.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to do an live album ranking of the Stranglers very soon, and I've started to listen to their live albums, and they're just brilliant. You know, especially them that one of their very first live album. It's just so much atmosphere, and it's going to be a tough one because all the ones I've heard so far are brilliant.
I don't think I've even heard any of their live stuff, to be honest.
Their live X-Certificate album's very good from about 1979 or so.
Yeah.
I think it's recorded during the first 2 to 3 albums, but I think it was released after the Raven. I'm not sure, but it's very good. I think it's got 5 minutes on it. I think that's their most punk sounding single. It's 5 minutes because that is bang at you. That song.
That is brilliant.
It is a great song.
Yeah, good band. Tomorrow I am ranking the Jam live albums.
Yeah.
Another difficult task because that is one band I regret I never saw live.
Yeah.
No, I never saw. I was too young to go and see them.
Yeah, I was a bit young.
Yeah, I saw them once at Lancaster University, and
what year was that?
there was something going on that night because they only did about 40 minutes, and then Weller had enough. But
what year was that?
While it lasted, it was pretty good.
What year?
Would have been about 82, I suppose, 82, 83.
Oh, 82.
No, wouldn't have been 83. You split then, but
that was the beginning of that.
What were you doing at Lancaster University then?
Watching the Jam. Just told
this
you.
was a student there at the time.
Give us a bit more info. I'm nosy.
Anyway, I'm looking at the clock, and because I'm only a poor and I can't afford to run forever.
Well, with all them adverts you're putting on the videos.
Yeah, have you had your first paycheck yet?
No.
Yeah.
I've sorted that out. They're not going to be. I'm trying to sort it out, but people keep saying they're not. But
do you realise, Ian? Do you realise whenever I watch back that video we did, there was 7 ads in it altogether.
I know.
7, 2 at the start, and then every couple of minutes another ad. And it's going for
yeah, that was hard too. So anyway, I would love to carry on, but if we want to do live streams for the rest of the month, we can't. So this has been a great one. The full UK tonight. So thanks to Mike, Nick, Rob, Richard, and Simon. Thanks very much. It's been a brilliant one. Thank you very much to the Obscurians for their comments. And I'll see you next week. And I'll see you on Saturday, Richard.
That'll do. Perfect. All the best,
Right.
lads.
Okay. See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Cheerio. Cheerio.